Oh my goodness, we did it again.
Hi,
Oops,
guys.
we did it again. What's up, girl?
What's up, guys? What's going on, colleagues?
I'm good. You didn't even ask me how I'm doing. Just go
How
right
are
to the
you,
colleagues.
Al?
I get it. I see how it is. But I feel like you've changed your camera angle, as have I.
Are you in focus?
I think so. Do I not look in focus?
No.
Am I not? Not at all.
You're a
What
little
if I
soft.
lean?
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
All right, Tor, we keep it 100 with our colleagues. You look like you're having a bad day, and I think a lot of us have that.
Oh, yeah.
Have those. I've had a lot of those. Talk to us about like how you, because you always talk to people, or you hear speeches, and they always say, "Here's what when I have a bad day, but like you're currently, like, just it's a little gray. It's not horrible. So talk, like, what are you doing to get through that? And I'll talk to you about what I do.
So it's just I kind of like ruminate and obsess, and now I'm all over this cell phone thing. So I have to go back to the Apple store, but I guess I'm trying to do like one step at a time. One thing at a time. But like right now I'm like one mini tiny little step at a time. So it's like get to the door, get your purse, get your keys, get into the car. Like it's like that.
What about Bob?
Yeah.
Baby steps in the elevator.
Baby steps the elevator. Baby steps the Apple store.
Tory, I'm making fun of you, but that's exactly what I do.
Yeah.
There's a reason that you and I are so synced up, even though phenotypically, that means how we present to the world outside, what we look like, couldn't be more different. Totally. Inside, you and I are a lot alike. And that's what I do when I feel really overwhelmed, when you have not only present bills to pay, but also like future bills, like your kids are coming up for college and just all the things. Tory, I swear, I just go, let's go to the gas station and we're going to get our gas and we're going to make our first trip, because I'll make a list and I'll be like, that's 41 things.
I know. And then
and it's too much. The baby steps, as corny as that sounds, in real time, I did that. I was doing that with my house. When I would turn around and move out of my house sometimes, Tory, there would be so much stuff that I could not see the floor.
That's how I do it.
And I was like, this is why people just walk away from a house and abandon it. And I was just like, just get the steam mop. Just get the speakers and we're going to shut the door and not get overwhelmed. And that's exactly what I did. So I'm glad that you're doing it. Is it working?
Yeah, it is. And I don't know if you guys know, I don't like to do things alone. So now I'm doing things alone, and it's like I'm finding myself talking to myself a lot. So I'm in the grocery store and I'm like, I don't need this. I don't need that. Well, Tor, you could get this, you stupid idiot. Get this. And I'm like, I don't know. Julie says, when I'm having a bad day, I put my headphones on and go for a walk, sit in my room and listen to music. Yeah, I'm trying to get out. Like, I'm not great, but
yes. Well, I think you and I definitely have a tendency. It helps that I'm a comic. And one more reason that you should get on the road. It's for all those weirdos that like to self-isolate. No one cares if you've been in the Hyatt for 23 hours. Totally. I know comedians that I'll be like, oh, how was that gig in Billings, Montana? I went whitewater rafting that morning, and then I'm like, you did stuff like that? Yeah, like people go rock climbing. I'm like, are you out of your mind? Yeah. I like Julia's idea of music. One little weird pattern that I've noticed, and I'll say this before I get to what we're over, is when I'm doom spiraling.
Yeah,
I check my YouTube algorithm, Tor, and I'm gonna tell you to do the same, because it tells where you are mentally.
Yeah, my Instagram.
If I don't have any music coming up. Yeah. Because when I'm in a good place, my first suggestion as a YouTube video is music. And if it's not, it's politics. I watch a lot of tornado stuff. I told you, people getting arrested for DUIs, and that's kind of like sad, guys.
I watched that on the treadmill. That's so scary.
Tory, it's not funny, the crime of a DUI. It's one of the most selfish things that you can do. But I did see one where the cop, because it's the body cam, the cop walks up and the girl is getting the better sleep than you've ever gotten in your life against her car window, and the cop bangs for like a couple of minutes. Finally she wakes up, and of course the car is like running, and the cop goes, "What's going on here? You're asleep in your car." And she goes, "All right, Dad."
That's hysterical.
It's so funny. But I was like, "What? If you're going down anyway, you might as well get some zingers in there, I guess."
Yeah. Thanks, Dad. Thanks, you guys, for writing in. A lot of us watch DUI arrests. It's so funny. I don't know. It's hard for me to be on TV and to be on the podcast and to not share that I'm feeling bad. I don't feel like when people say, "How are you?" and everyone's like, "Good, good."
It feels inauthentic.
Totally.
And that's why we don't do that. That's why I asked you, because I was like, let's just keep it 100.
Totally.
You know, Tory's having a rough day.
Yeah.
I'm having like my first good week in like 4. So
I'm so happy for you, Al.
You know, it's just like, I've been there, sis, and you're going to get through it, especially with the. Damn it. That was supposed to be Over It. So Tory,
besides over it.
I love Over It. Okay.
Me too.
All right, let me find it. Okay. It is right. Oh, here it is. All right, Tor. Obviously, you said you're having a rough day. We're gonna get through that, sis. But I need to know what's something that you're over, and maybe something that might even be contributing to your rough day.
I'm over the iCloud. I don't understand it. I know no one else understands it. They signed me up for like $2.99 for iCloud Plus. I don't know it. I don't get it. I don't get it. And Steve, I just feel like Steve Jobs would be horrified at like how confusing Apple's gotten, where his whole thing was it's supposed to be user friendly. I don't know if you guys know this. Remember the old Macs, the iMacs that were like jelly bean flavored? So he went to a jelly bean factory, picked the colors so they looked user friendly. And then he asked his mother, who was like 70 at the time, and said, "What would make you feel more comfortable about technology?" And she goes, "I like it to have a handle." So he made it with a little like hook handle, and everything was just so user friendly. And now it's gotten just a little bit like overwhelming. And I wish he were still here. I know he wasn't a great dad and maybe not a great human, not a nice man, but I really wish it were a little more simple. That's all.
I mean, that's true. I will say this, Tory. It says good things about you that you don't know much about the iCloud. Do you know who does?
Yeah, there's the
divorce
iMac.
attorneys.
Yeah.
Divorce attorneys and anybody that doesn't know that your pictures go a little bit everywhere.
You know.
I will say this, Tor, I plugged my phone into my laptop because it was about to die. And of course, it's like, "Do you trust this computer?" I was like, "Yes." And then I went into my phone and there were photos from like the first tour I did with Hannibal in like 2013, 2014. Wow. Everything that you've ever taken a picture of, ever taken a screenshot, it's all in your iCloud. And I think a lot of people.
I don't think I have enough room in my iCloud, so it stopped. Right, Marcy, that's it. You say you have unlimited data and then you don't. I'm just over data. Like I like tangible, like I like to cross stitch. I like when there's like thread and needle. Isn't this a cool cross stitch?
That's really cool. Who is that?
Sweeney Todd.
Oh.
Can you see it?
That's really great. Jesus, you made that?
Yeah, so this is my loose ends. You know how I work on it for someone who's passed away?
Yes.
So it's almost done. I have like a few stitches left.
I made fun of you about not following up with the loose ends, and then you did. And I was really proud of you, but now I can't be too proud because it makes me feel bad about myself for making fun of you. So,
and guys, it's black on black. So it's so hard to see. Do you see what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
Isn't it
That's
cool?
Really awesome. I'm really proud of you, Tor.
Now, I only started here and did the bottom to fix it. So I just want to let people know.
Okay. Oh, look at you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah. What are you over?
I am over any movement that initially starts out as a good thing. BLM, Me Too. eventually being not only you know, enveloped, but then corporatized and then turned into a storefront. I I was on Broadway the other day and I walked past two stores that are like pro feminist stores. And I went into one because I'd gone in there previously with my daughter. And then I just went in and I was just looking to see what messages that they're sending in there. And I, as a man, how dare I walk into a feminist store and say how to, but all the messages were just kind of, maybe it's skewed younger, but they were just like, F the patriarchy. A real girl says MFer. A real woman knows how to clean her dildos. Like literally these kinds of things. Like we could, but it's just like,
Real.
it's immature. And it's like, that's kind of not what this was about. You know, not to, I can't say what this is about, but I don't think it was that. You know, I just think it's yes, it is the ability to be your authentic self and be 100% human, but it seems like that's what it boils down to, is just simple platitudes that are empty. And I think it takes away from the original important message.
I can see that. That's fair.
All right. Well, thank you. I felt so weird about that, like, because I'm a dude, and it's the same with everything, but it's just like, I just don't like when important things are on t-shirts for sale. I don't know.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. I don't know. I like bumper stickers. I have one bumper sticker, but I really like when other people have bumper stickers.
It just seems like an invite to key my car for no reason.
I know.
Because half the people that see that are not going to like it. Like,
yeah, no, you're going to alienate a lot of people with something.
Right. So I just keep my cards close to my vest. All right, Tory. Speaking of vests, let's do this. All right. Let's get right into it. Subject that is near and dear to my heart. Rental cars. Tor, are you loyal to one rental car agency?
No, I'm not loyal to any of them. No. What about you?
I am loyal to Avis. I am in the President's Club. Just letting you know. Just throwing that out there. I'm kind of a big deal at Avis. And it looks like their competition, Hertz, and I'm sure this will be followed by many others, have started to do this, Tory. Michael Dean, can you pull that picture up for us? Tory, can you tell the people what they're looking at?
So this is Hertz' new AI machine. And just so you guys know, when you're done with your car at Hertz, it drives this rental car through this AI machine to check for any tiny dings. Now, they did catch one, and I want to show you how small the ding is, okay? If you can see, that red square is showing us, and I don't even see it. I honestly don't see it. I still don't. So we're not only getting nickeled and dimed, we're getting nicked and dimes, because they're going to like come up with some crazy things that you have to pay for now, just so you guys know. So I don't know what you do, Al. I guess maybe you take like an intensely close video of the car before you get in it and drive off. But like, this is so annoying to me.
I don't know, Tori, but maybe. Because you're right. It is annoying. And this is what I've been saying about since the computerization, the internetization, and now the artificial intelligenceization of the world, it's affected the consumer. There used to be bars that you could go into where you'd know that bartender was also going to be drunk on their shift, and they'd throw you a free drink. Here comes Bar Rescue, and some guy yelling, here's a way to make sure you weigh the bottle to make sure your bartenders aren't giving away. Okay, so that's gone. No hook up there. There used to be a thing where it's like, hey, there's a website where, you know, if you want to go to Omaha, but that flight's going to eventually end up in San Francisco, you can just get off at the first part of that flight and save a couple $100. They outlawed every little way that the consumer kind of snuck around the corner and just kind of, hey, save me $14 there. Everything is over. And so there are no more hookups. Like, when's the last time you were like, somebody hooked me? Like, remember like in 2004 when like one of your friends worked at a restaurant and they would just be like, I'm just going to bring home 100 crab legs before we throw them away. You'd be like, cool. And not like that they have microchips on those now. Like you wouldn't be able to do that. Throw the food away and pour bleach on it. Tory, there's no way for the consumer to just live and be a normal person and kind of sneak around the edges.
It kind of reminds me a lot of the junk fees too. Like I just want to go to a concert, and so if I'm a parent, I have to pay the babysitter, I have to get the cab, I have to do this, and now you're going to give me like random fees I don't understand. This is on hotel bills too, like resort fee. What is that? What does that mean? So I just find that less and less rights for the consumer. I completely understand. There is something called the Consumer Federal Protection Bureau. And Elizabeth Warren was supposed to be the head of it, and it's supposed to protect things like this. And I wish the president used more power for that.
That was one of the first things Trump went after was the consumer, because that's also aren't they the ones that keep bill collectors from calling your house at midnight and scam calls and spam calls?
It's the only way we get rights. And Elizabeth Warren, if you ever want to look through, is someone who's very big on consumer rights, in the economy. But I believe Doge, I think Michael Dean's saying he gutted it. So that's great. That's just great. What happens when someone else scratches that rental car while you have it? You're out.
That's what I said.
That's what you're out. Yeah.
It just seems like, as a person that spent a lot of time at rental car counters, there's already a simmering tension.
Yeah.
Because so many things can go wrong. If somebody tries to use a debit card, if somebody tries to rent it one way, I've seen people get rejected and people go nuts.
Yeah.
They go nuts.
Yeah, it's bad.
And this is going to be, because if you're already traveling on a budget, like most people are, you didn't allot for $250 for something that you don't even remember doing, if you did it at all.
No.
So I'm not with that. And Tory, I don't want to turn into that old guy that just says back in the day was better, but I feel like it clearly was.
I know we do sound a little bit old.
A little bit old, but it's not old, Tory. Do you have any idea? Spider. That's who's not old. You know what? Spider moving. Colleagues, you guys know the story. They hooked me up. Have I told the full story, Tory?
Yeah.
About how the person I was renting the house from called me a crackhead.
That was bad.
Did I tell you? Yes, colleagues. They said that because I had painted the ceiling, because I was actually painting my house to look like this not Land's End. What's that home magazine? Better Home Than Gardens, kind of.
Yeah.
I saw a room that looked like that, and I painted my house to look like that. And I will have that photo. I'll do that at some point, and I'll show people what my crackhead house looked like. But it was just a racially loaded statement, and I knew that I was having problems with these people, and I need to get out of there. And our friends at Dude IDK were like, "Yo, hit these dudes up at Spider Moving. They'll help you." And I was like, dude, I need to move like after this podcast. And they were like, just call them. I did. Vlad and the other Vlad came through for me. Like literally went to my house. My stuff went in boxes. They moved me out like we were on the run from the law. And I will never forget them for that. And that's so like we make a lot of jokes on the show, but Spider Moving came through for me. They're professional. They get the job done. So you guys do me a favor. Go shout out Spider Moving. If anybody is moving, point them in the direction of Spider Moving here in Denver. And they do storage. So why not just take care of the whole package? So thank you to our sponsors at Spider Moving.
That's what's up, says Leslie Green.
Cool. All right. And Tory, you know what? Since I'm no longer a crackhead, I feel like we're in a good enough place to do the next story. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Do you want to do the Barbie story? We're not doing that, right?
No.
Okay, well, let's get to my girl. Hold on. Let me do this one because I really like it. I think this is your favorite.
I love that one.
All right. Tory, our girl, my girl, your girl. That's right. I'm talking about Tuah girl.
Oh, God.
Was named to Time's 100 most influential creators. Tory, do you know the backstory to Tuah girl?
I think she was just on the street, right? And she was kind of getting like a man on the street interview.
Yes.
And I don't want to repeat what she said. It was very crass, but she said something.
Well, it's her name now, so you can repeat it.
She said you're going to take something and you're going to huck Tuah it, which it was a sexual innuendo of what you do. And she went super viral from it. She started had a talk show out. Didn't she have
she had a podcast?
Yeah, a podcast about it. And everybody just started it was just one of the things in the zeitgeist where everything hit, and she went to superstardom, and she signed with CAA, and she was just insane. So what do you think? She's 22 years old.
I mean, the thing that I don't think that you're intentionally skipping over, I think you're probably unaware of it because it was such a minor detail, but really it wasn't, I'm surprised we're hearing from her because she was in a lot of trouble with the feds. Did you know about her fake meme coin?
Yeah, she did something with financial fraud or something.
Yes, what she did was called a pump and dump. It's the same thing that Wolf of Wall Street guy did. It would be like if you and I, Tory, and I hope I can explain this. We were like, hey, colleagues, Tory and I have an NFT meme coin that you guys can buy. It's valued at $100. And Shelly and Julia and ELC, they all get in and they're like, oh, this is worth $100. So ELC says, you know what? I'm going to get 5 of them. And Shelly says, you know what? I'm going to get 10 of them. So they come in, they put their money into our meme coin. And now it's valued at $10,000 where we started at 100. And then you and I pull our money out. And Shelly's left with a coin that has nothing. ELC is left with a coin that's now worth 10 cents because you and I held the lion's share of the value in that. We say, come join us. Everybody comes, puts their money in, inflates the value, pump, and then dump. We pull our stuff and we're out. Wow. And she did that with her meme coin.
Wow. So
Yeah, no, ask the question you were probably going to ask. How is she not in jail?
Yeah, why is she not in trouble? Because she's white?
White collar crime, white girl.
Yeah, right.
Famous. Ugh. Probably just enough where I think because her lawyer would go in and be like, Judge, do you think that the girl that mimics BJ's on the street knows anything about? She just didn't know. She would come in there with a straw hat on, and I don't know. I just want a high noon and tall boy. Even though that's just a great guise for what she did, which is like a ripoff. She ripped her fans off.
And then not only that, she it says crashing by over 90% with the hours, the rapid rise and fall led to accusations of a pump and dump scheme. This is what I don't understand is Time Magazine. What's that choice? You're going to put her on 100 top creators. I don't know. That makes my feeling of Time Magazine go down.
Well, here's my question. And this is weird because I'm clearly anti-Hawk Tuah being on this list. I understand why she is on this list. She made the rounds and, she's still, for everybody's like, oh, you're 15 minutes. She's been around for about 2 years now. If you say her name, people still know who she is. And there have been viral clips that, she was on Bill Maher's podcast. She made the rounds. She definitely was with a big agent. My question is, colleagues, can we be mad at Time? Is Tory right to be like, what's up, Time? When Time is like, I get it, Tory and Al, and your idealism, but everybody you would suggest like Pema wouldn't get people to buy this dumb magazine. You know who does? A blonde chick with a cowboy hat that talks about polishing. So Time is like, our job is not to make the world a better place. We're here to sell magazines. So do you take any validity to my usurping Time's stance on this?
Well, I was actually going to bring up this too. Black Asian brought it up. Great. They also put up people who are Time People of the Year that people really don't like. And I want to make that clear that when Time does that, it's not your most popular. It's the most talked about person who's made the most change in the world. So when Trump was on it, there's sort of a reason because he did affect the global community so much. They had, I believe, Hitler was once Time's Person of the Year. And again, it isn't your favorite person. It's the person that has changed the landscape that year the most. So if that's what this is with Tuah, is, oh, I can't believe I'm saying that. And her new podcast is called Talk Tuah.
No, it is not. Stop it. Are you serious?
So I think that maybe she's influenced enough, but like, I don't know. It's a sad time. We're in a weird timeline. We are in a weird timeline. So
yeah, we definitely are. All right, Tory. Well, just because you're having a rough day that I can tell is getting better. I can see that sunshine coming through you. So let's keep talking about
I love
more famous people. Let's have a chit chat. Speaking of controversial stars, your boy Hugh Grant.
Y'all see this? You see this, y'all?
He looks like a limo driver that got drunk with the prom kids he was driving. It's like, I'll be in the car after the dance.
So if you guys don't know, this was Wimbledon and it's hot. It's hot and he was wearing a full suit. He's an older gentleman and he had himself a little bit of a nap. It is very, if it was anyone,
it was just the heat.
Well, I'm sure maybe he was having, there are really good cocktails at Wimbledon. They have like specifically good cocktails, but
apparently he tried all of them.
Yeah, but I don't mind that Hugh Grant falls asleep. Like, I like my Hugh Grant grumpy, a little bit caustic, a little acerbic. I like Hugh Grant being like, I don't like anyone, really. I like him like that. So that's what I think, Sue. Oh, hey, cutie, I'm going to be on the damage report on the 31st. Just letting you know. Thank you for writing in.
Oh, yay. Yes.
Yeah. But Wimbledon can get a little bit steamy. So I don't have it could have been a boring match. So I don't know what you think, but I'm not mad at Hugh Grant for this. I like my Hugh Grant in prostitutes' cars. You know what I mean? Like making big mistakes.
Yes. I mean, he's another one. It would be my dream to have enough free time and extra money to do a podcast of controversies that hit stars right before the internet that would have sunk them. Totally. But it's just like, there's so many where it's just like, it was like 1998, and they just got through 2003.
Totally agree.
I was going to ask you.
It was not a boring match. So good to know. So he must have been a little bit tie-tie, maybe a little drinky.
Yes. Now, Tory, I do have to ask you before we move on, have you ever fallen asleep? Or when was the last time you've fallen asleep in public? Do you need to think about it? Because I'll tell you mine. Or one that sticks out in my head.
Yeah, tell us yours.
Mine is bad because it makes me think of this person who has now passed away.
Oh.
But back when I was still drinking, Bob Saget and I did a 2-man show at the West Palm Beach Improv. And, I go on, I do my 20 minutes. He comes on, I shake his hand, and I go right to my home base, my safe space, the bar. Double kettles, people coming out of the showroom, I'm drinking with them. And I go back in the green room, and because he didn't need me to come get him off stage. So I'm in the green room just waiting for him. And I just nodded off on the couch. I think like head back, not even like Hugh where he's kind of slumped. I think I was like where you can see the whole epiglottis. Yeah. And he walked in the green room and I like woke up and I was like, good set, man. And he didn't say anything. And he like got his bag. And I hear him when the door closed. He goes, effing guy didn't even wash, talking about good set.
Oh,
that was the last thing he ever said to me.
That's so bad. That is really bad. That is.
In my defense, I'm sure it was a good set. The crowd sounded happy. So, as comics, I always try and talk about comedians that have passed away, especially ones that are close to me. Not that I was close to Bob, but like they're still here. Like we bust balls and talk about the funny stuff. So, that was when I fell asleep. I was very embarrassed about that.
Yeah, well, at least you're honest about it. The only one I have is I did Macbeth, a really good production of it. I was Lady Macbeth, and my high school had Janet Reno come to see the production because she was someone's aunt or something from my school. She was front row. She was Attorney General at the time of the United States, Secret Service all around her. I go right to the corner. I'm in my big moment, and I go, out, damn spot, out, and and Janet Reno is snoring in front of me. She's fully asleep. I get it. It's like she has a hard day. Like, I get it. But it was a really bad moment for me. I'll never forget it. She was like,
that's a rough one.
It was bad.
That's a rough one. All right. Well, let's talk about something that we both know and love.
That's such a good one.
Thank you.
That's good.
I made that song for my girlfriend.
It's really good.
All right. Tory, there is now reports that there has been a Birkin bag valued at what? 10 M's. 10 million, y'all. $10 million.
Yes. So the
Birkin bag. Do you know the history of these? I always thought, I'm such a dude. I thought like Coach was the big one, and they were like, no. I don't know.
So Hermes made a bag, and specifically for this actress in Bombshell named Jane Birkin. And Jane Birkin, they worked together and they made this specific leather bag, and it's of the highest leather, and it's got a certain look, and it's got a clasp. And the Birkin bag became viral, and every woman wanted to have it, and they got it in different sizes. And there's Birkin shows, and you see if it's a real Birkin, fake Birkin. You sell fake Birkin bags on the streets of New York, but the original Jane Birkin bag that they made for her, that was what you just saw, sold for 10 milli. And it is, I don't disagree with the price point. It is the start of an entire industry that is at the highest end. I mean, no bag costs more than a Birkin. Nothing.
I was going to ask Tory or Michael Dean, can you guys find out the average price?
It's like thousands of dollars.
I know I didn't realize. I'm sure Michael Dean will have that for us.
Super expensive.
I've heard that because obviously I listened to a lot of interviews of big time criminals that have gotten out of jail, and they talked about like why they did certain things. First of all, I when I listen to these, I'm like, what a group of businessmen we just threw away. These people are incredible business. They just happen to be selling something that was illegal. But I was listening to this one guy, and everybody goes, he's like, everybody's like, oh, rappers, you're so dumb with your drug dealers with your 10 cars and all your stuff. It's a stupid thing. He was like, it's not stupid, because when we get arrested, if our assets are frozen, you can have your girl or your homeboys go liquidate that car and get some money to get a lawyer. Cars and things like that are in Birkin bags. Artwork. Art is also, let's be honest, Tori, I know that it's art is important. It is the nectar of life, but it is also the lifeblood of fraud. If you need to launder money, hey, guess what? This clip that's right next to this whiteboard is now worth $5 million. It's a good way to launder things, Yeah. So, whenever something is valued like this, I'm always like, I get the rock eyebrow. Not that I can do that.
Yeah, they said an Hermes Birkin bag costs between 10 grand and 60 grand. And it is a social status. I know you guys, we talked about the Labubu. Remember the Labubu that goes on a purse? This is like the most expensive Labubu that you could find. It's just a status symbol. And you're right, Al, it is an investment. People pass it on to generations. It's like watches, like a Patek Philippe or one of those really expensive watches. But the problem is that the Birkin industry has created a whole sub-level of fake Birkins. So everything's gotten really diluted. So it's hard to find a real Birkin. So that's like really exciting. But it said it was sold to a private collector from Japan. Asians are very into Hermes, very into high-end status symbols of the Birkin bag. So, I mean, I don't get it. It's not the most beautiful bag. It's hand stitched and stuff, but like
it better be
10 grand. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's would you be, if you have a partner and they got you a $10,000 bag, would you be like, oh my God, thank you?
No,
or, oh my God, we could have spent this money differently?
Yes. I would have been like, we could have gone to Greece. We could have saved some dogs. We could I don't care I would buy a fake one in a second. Like, I'll eBay one or Etsy or whatever, but I'm not spending 10 grand on like any item unless it's art. But you are right. When Kobe got in trouble, the first thing he did was buy his wife, I don't know if you remember this, a $1 million
huge diamond
or whatever it was. And that was, when you gift your spouse, you get to keep that money. So it's like you could use that money as a
Oh,
gift. Tax wise, it's better. And also you can get a lawyer from it. So I just thought that was interesting. If they got you a fake one, would that be better? Yeah, I'd love a fake Birkin. I think they call it a firkin.
but would you want them to tell you, or would you just want to?
Yes. Yes. I need to know. Like, I don't want a real Birkin. I don't want to take care of a Birkin. Like, you have to insure that Birkin. I keep saying Birkin.
You really do, but I mean, you do. I mean, anything. Yeah, it's probably the most valuable thing you have, and it goes over your shoulder.
Yeah, and the Birkins they make are almost undeniably and untraceable that they're fake. Like some people
Really?
notice a stitch and be like, it's off. But yeah. Oof, God.
All right, well,
Yeah.
Tory, we're having a fun day today. Let's go back to this really quick. All right, Tory, we're talking about famous people possibly dating. Two of the most famous people. And this might track because, you know, Tom likes the hot Latinas. Everybody's got a type, and that's a good one to have, bro. No judgment over here. What do you think about the rumors that Tom Brady and Sofia Vergara are dating?
I could totally see it. I think Sofia Vergara has been out, and I follow her Instagram, and she's like looking. She's posting a ton of thirst traps. First of all, good for her. She looks great. But her, she's 53 today. It's her birthday. She divorced Joe Manganiello, and I think there was a lot of feelings there. And I think she wants to be hot on the town. And I think Brady is I think it's a great couple. What do you think? I think it's great.
Tor, you know me, I always try to come with a funny angle or whatever. I think it's perfect. They're both A-list celebrities. They both are kind of getting out of marriages.
Yes.
And they're getting ready to have that second half of like, my kids are grown as hell.
Yes.
You know, enough money to do whatever.
Totally.
And it's not I think everybody goes, must be great to be Tom Brady. You could date anybody. No, he can't.
Right.
No, he can't. Tom Brady is at a level, and this is no shade to any of us. And for me, it'd be Sofia Vergara. I can't date her. There's too much of a difference in our stratus, you know. And I'd be like, "What do you want to eat?" And she's like, "The most expensive restaurant again tonight." And I'm like, "I already am living out of my car after paying for restaurant yesterday. Like, I can't. She can't date me, but her and Tom can." And so I see it. She looks good. He looks great. He's not playing anymore.
Agreed.
Yeah, so
I think they could party. I think they both like to party, which I think is awesome.
Absolutely, I think so.
Yeah. She's 53, he's 47. I don't see a problem with that. The only thing I have an issue with is that she apparently was supposed to be with Tom Cruise. So there was a whole Scientology article in Vanity Fair that she was the next Tom Cruise. Right now, he is Ana de Armas. So there's a theory, and again, I don't want to get deep into it, that he gets set up with the top of the top. That's how we got Katie Holmes, whatever's good for his credibility. And she was going to be the next one. And there's some horrific things she had to go through to be Tom's new addition, including they made some people scrub. I don't want to go deep into it, but it's not a great thing when it was like a setup and it never worked out. So I hope this Tom is better for her than that Tom. Yeah. It was.
But if your choices are Tom Cruise or Tom Brady, I mean, you're kind of winning.
You are.
You're kind of winning. I mean, you could pick at anything, but like, there's not a lot of crocodile tears from your friends.
I would rather. Who would you rather, Tom Cruise or Tom Brady?
To date? Well, since I'm not interested in men, I would say Tom Cruise because he's going to be gone on set a lot. Everybody's like, "How's your man Tom?" I'm like,
he's gone.
You would want to be with Brady. I don't want to be out doing stuff. He'd be like, "We're in Dubai. We got to go jump off this mountain and land on a camel." I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want your action adventure life.
But so would Tom Cruise. He's like, let's go fall off this helicopter. I don't know. I feel like Tom Brady would be more fun. You'd probably have to.
Tom Brady would be like, "Do you just want to get real drunk right now, and we'll figure that out?" Yeah. That's what's up. Tom can be my man if that's the deal. All right, Tory, are you into movies?
Yes.
What was the last movie you saw?
Hold on.
In the theater.
The last movie I saw in the theater, maybe Baby Girl.
Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah,
Well,
there hasn't been that
we
many.
can't have the colleagues waiting while you think.
Okay,
So
sorry.
you start wandering off like an older gentleman at the
Oh,
grocery store looking
I
for something.
don't know. What
Tory,
about
let
you?
me ask you,
Yeah,
the last movie I saw in the theater, it's been a while.
yeah.
I saw an old movie in the theater. I saw The Great Outdoors in the movie theater when I was in
Oh, nice.
Illinois,
That's great.
which I kind of like watching old movies back in the theater, but that's
It's the
it.
best. That's the best.
All right.
I did see
Well,
Barbie.
speaking of,
Yeah, I saw Barbie. Yeah, please.
oh yeah, I saw Barbie too. Um, Speaking of old things that are new again in the movie theaters, the new Superman is out,
I
and or
know.
the trailer for the new Superman is out. And after years and years of them trying to reboot that franchise and like failing over and over again, Batman did it, Spider-Man did it in a way. I don't think because we and the colleagues are a certain age, I don't think any of us realize how big Spider-Man Into the Multiverse was. It was
Totally.
like one of the biggest movies in the history of movies ever.
Yes.
Like,
And then the cartoon, is that the cartoon one?
yes, I think
Okay.
so. I think the ones that Tobey Maguire did okay, and then like it blew.
Yeah.
But Superman just hasn't happened since like the original Clark Kent. But word on the street is this new Superman is supposed to be really dope. Now, do we have that trailer? I don't think we do. Do we have a picture? Oh,
the most powerful being on planet Earth. We finally meet. Now, as planned, I'll destroy you. And of course, that reporter you always do interviews with. Who raised you as a child? I'll kill them too.
whoa.
Okay. So Nicholas Holt from About a Boy is Lex Luthor. That's the little kid from About a Boy.
Really?
Yeah.
What's crazy is I just watched him. He was the bad guy in Dune 2.
Yes, he's come up in his own. He's doing really
Those are
well.
two huge franchises he's on. Whoa.
Wow. And I like the new look of that Superman. He looks like my Superman in my head.
Right. What do you think you need to have a, like, how like fallible do you want your superheroes? Do you want them to just be like, I'm above reproach all the time? Or do you want them to be like, hey, Superman, but I got ADHD? Like, Spider-Man seems to have like some personal problems.
Well, all the superheroes need to have some kind of like backstory of like hurt and anxiety. And I don't know. I'm ready for a really good Superman. I liked Henry Cavill. Cavill?
Yeah, I think
one of
Cavill.
those.
I don't know.
So his name is David Corenswet.
Are you serious? Is that his porn name?
Corenswet. He's born in Kansas. He's got a lot of corn sweat. And he's now got a super dog. So they've added a dog. Do we want to see the dog? Here he is. It looks like a Westie.
The dog's a cutie.
It's a cutie. And I hope that's a real dog.
What do you think? He has an AI dog?
Yeah, I'm concerned that's an AI dog. His name is Crypto. I don't know why I thought his name was Tony. I don't know if the dog flies.
Crypto paid for that?
Well, Krypton is his kryptonite is part of the Superman story.
I know.
But that's interesting.
But the crypto is like a good, like, you're going after younger people that are investing. They're like, I don't trust the US banks. Let me go in, like, the movie you like the most, you hear the word crypto 14 times. You watch it 10 times. That's like, you're hearing it over and over again. Crypto, maybe. Good. So good, Crypto. I'm glad I invested in you as my dog.
Crypto.
Yeah.
So, okay, so it is a CGI character. Get a Westie. Well, get a good Westie rescue.
But you know what I think they're worried about? And I'll ask the colleagues if this bothers you and why it's hard for me to invest in really any kind of movies where kids are the heroes. Because when they try and do the second or third one, the kids are at that weird, awkward phase where they're not cute anymore. They're not kids. They're just like 14. And some are almost adults and some aren't. It's just like I think that's why The Simpsons worked. because they're the same age all the time.
Yeah.
My girl watches Georgia and Jenny, and she was, I guess, the 10-year-old little brother in that. I don't watch it at all. He's like a little man now, but they're still like trying to pretend like he's a kid, but he just grew.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's why they have CGI characters when they can.
I just don't think it's great. I got to be honest. Christopher Reeves is like, I think it's Reeve, but he was by far my favorite Superman because there was something so human and so sweet and so lovely. In the comics, Just Me's Fun Hub says Superboy had Crypto, a super dog. So he does fly. So Crypto is part of it, but man, I really think they need to get a real dog. I got to be honest. That's stinks.
That's what gets you. All right. Well, Tory, here's one that I don't know if we've ever used.
To be near you feels like heaven in the afternoon.
That's great.
Yes, Tory. We're talking a little romance, a little bit of just where we are societally in terms of sexuality and what turns people on. And right now, the phrase is, if I have it correctly, I mean, I say it 10 times before I get out of bed every morning, butts over biceps.
Butts over biceps.
Oh, yeah, a little outcast. Yeah. I think kind of worked.
Yeah.
I was way too old before I found out that anybody that is attracted to men looks at men's butts. I had no idea. Tory, did you know this? And are you butts over biceps, or are you biceps rule everything?
I like biceps over butts. I can't believe I'm saying this.
There we go. And clip that here.
And that's all you need to know. But butts have been making like a comeback lately. And I've been doing a lot of walking on an incline, trying to I have a very flat Jewish butt. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing. My mother had the same butt. So yeah, I guess that's the new thing is like having a nice tush. And I like biceps over butts, but I do look at butts. I'll take a look at a butt.
There we go. And I like that you're still fighting. You're like, no, I'll look at your butt.
I will. I 100% look at your butt. Michael Dean says, I take a good butt over big biceps. You can get more done with bigger legs.
Oh, I don't know what that means, but that was hot and terrifying. Oh, my goodness. Get more done. I've never said that when referring to any kind of sex. I'm just like, hey, let's bring this plane in for a landing. We both love each other. I'm already covering my bases. Yeah, that's I mean, that's kind of it just shows you for how many years men don't understand the people that like them. Mm-hmm. Having no idea. I'm sure there are a lot of biceps over butts, but I found that a lot of my girls are like, oh my goodness. But is there a butt that you like, Tory?
Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt has a great butt. Christopher Maloney. Is that his name?
Yes.
Great tush. Really good tush. Also, someone said something like, Shelly, she said, I got a big ass butt and I love a dude with a great smile. There you go.
All right. That's almost like poison.
Yeah.
Now, can we trust Shelly? Because they said don't trust somebody with a big butt. I'm assuming she has a nice smile too. Was Belle Biv DeVoe trying to warn us against Shelly?
You can't trust someone with a big butt?
Never trust a big butt and a smile. That's what they said.
Oh, is that the...
I have that tattooed on my back. That's a...
Butts and boobs get looked at because they stand out from the body. Some people say that men like butts because it reminds them of boobs.
No, I mean, well, I think butts are closer to hit. Well, there's a weird thing because I'm a lover of women and I studied in the sciences. And if you think about it, whenever somebody is really ill, or weirdly, if somebody is addicted to drugs or not healthy, not treating themselves well, drinking too much, the butt sags. It's a weird thing, but we are animals. And when something is not healthy, there are things that signal to the other animal that this is not a good potential mate.
Right.
It's very right. It's just like with we can't control our skin. But if you are not bathing or not taking care of yourself. There's just a look where everybody just goes, oh, that's a person that is probably struggling in some area and would not make a good mate. It's no judgment on them. I'm talking about this. These are just the things that are inside of us biologically that helped us all get here to be on this podcast. Every predecessor that you had before this make good decisions in terms of who to pass their genes on to. And that's why you're here. That's why we're all here. So it's very interesting that, like, I think a saggy rear end is more of a evolutionary turnoff than we think. It's very strange.
Right. But I do think that things change. So like in the 1500s, bigger women were seen as more fertile. And now it's like you've got to be a certain thinness. And then butts were big, and then boobs were big, and then lips were big, and then hair is big. And so it's just interesting to see in which cultures this is important. And in America, butts are in. You know what I mean? Butts are in.
I don't think they ever really left, but I will say this in regards to your statement about like healthier, more robust women. You're talking about a period of time where people were less food secure. And so having weight on you meant that you were rich. That means that you could afford meat. That means that you were eating every night and eating to the point where you got fat. People used to be like, how did you do that?
Totally.
Kings used to be fat to be like, I ate so much I got sick. And people were like, word, you know. So I think, and now if you think about it, when you go to Whole Foods, everybody in there is ripped. All the women in front of me in line at Whole Foods at 3:00 are coming from their second workout class. They have striations in their back from the muscles, Orange Theory, all that. And it is a sign that they are wealthy, that they have enough free time to work out twice during the day.
Right.
So in a weird way, your physical fitness almost shows like your wealth level, and that makes you a more attractive partner.
I also think Just Me brings up a fantastic point. Hip hop culture and music did a lot to promote butts. I mean, we start with I like big butts and I cannot lie, which everybody knows, but really the apple bottom jeans and the, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's all I know.
Yeah. And
just that one line.
Honestly, boots with the fur, I believe, is the second line.
With the apple bottom jeans.
But I mean, that's one of
and
the
Kardashians. Great point. The Kardashians brought big butts. You're totally right, Christina. That's a great point. Hi from Ohio. I finally made it live. Great. Nice to see you, Jamie.
What's up? Welcome from my home state. We're in Ohio. And,
let us know.
Yes. While you're thinking about that, Tory, let's start to bring this in for a landing. So, Tory, we have some burning questions. How do we not have a burning questions?
You don't have something on fire or anything?
No, one would think.
You got to make that out.
I'll do it tonight. So, Tory.
Jamie's from Dayton.
Oh, shout out to Dayton. I just missed you, Jamie. I just booked Dayton today, I think.
Way to
Jamie,
go.
I will. Yes, awesome. Jamie, I will be in Dayton on right here. It's coming. December 5th and 6th. So yes, I'll be at the Dayton Funny Bone. So come see me. You're the first person to know that. That just happened today. So shout out Jamie. Yes.
That's really cool.
All right. So let's go down memory lane a little bit here, Tory. When was the last time you caught yourself acting like your parents? And which parent do you act more like?
I act like my mother, and it's when I'm in a line and I don't see that it's moving or expedited. I will go to the front of the line and be, what do we all call me? A PJ, a pushy Jew. And I will be like, we need to make 2 lines. Move. We need to speed this up. I mean, I can't stand inefficiency while I'm waiting. I can't stand it. And Judy could not stand it. So I'm mostly my mother. And if we see something that's wrong, we're going to say it. We're not Karens. We're not rude. We're just expediting.
Right. No, speaking up for yourself does not make you a Karen. I think what do you think is the inherent characteristic of a Karen? I feel like a Karen initiates a conflict with somebody who's just standing there.
Yes. And I always think a Karen is a little bit racial. I don't know why, but there's a sense of like, you don't belong in this neighborhood.
Right.
Like, get the hell out of here. But if I see a line that needs 2 lines and that's not happening, we're going to start taking credit cards. I'm going to start swiping. We need to move.
Tory, there's it's so weird. I've had this thought a lot because Karens have obviously been in our, lexicon or zeitgeist as a culture for about the last 5-10 years. But there's no other term for another kind of white woman that I've encountered. And I feel like they're one of my favorites, and they don't have a term. And I don't know if we want to call them like Kellys, or I don't know. That's not the right term because they're usually a little bit older, but they're just like older white women, 59 plus, that are not scared of Black dudes at all. And have just like walked up to me and my boys like 5, 6, and just like, hey, where do I get something to eat around here? Because I ate at that Denny's and I feel like I got a little bit sick. Now, do you guys? And I'm like, you're not scared? Like, no fear. Just walk up, start talking to you about crazy stuff, and just like very comfortable just around people, and especially people of color. And I feel like those older white women don't get the love that they deserve.
I know what you mean. And I think there's a lot of, I don't know. I think that Blacks and Jews have a lot of commonalities. There's a lot of weird cultural things that like mix older people and like, I don't know. You kind of just, you find weird groups that overlap. And in Brooklyn, in certain places, like Hasidic Orthodox Jews and like Black people are they're right in between each other. So it's just interesting. By the way, since I believe 2002 or 22, there has been not one Karen born in the United States.
What?
No one
stopped using that.
They have stopped. The name Karen has gone down to 0, I believe, since 2022.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's I mean, that's
in America.
It's sad.
In America.
Yeah, it's weird to watch a name just kind of, you watch that happen. And I think about Karen, who used to work with the DBL from Canada. Yeah. One of the nicest people that you will ever meet in your life. And I remember she hated it to the point where like if she was emoting that she hated it, it really bothered her.
It really did. I get it.
It sucks. Yeah. When it's just like, it's not a funny, like, remember that we worked with a young woman named Alexa, and she was like, I've heard all the jokes. My ex-wife's name is Yes, my ex-wife's name is Genesis, and like she's like, I've heard like anytime somebody, it's like that Office Space when the guy's name was Michael Bolton, and it's like, yes, I get it, but like everybody's made that joke, and after a while, when your name is just like, hi, Michael Bolton, I love that. It's just like, and that look of disgust when he's like, oh my God,
it's so bad. Yeah, I
get it. There should be a list of people that have been aggrieved.
So when I did bridal, I had to, people would write down their names and I'd go to help the next bride. And whenever I saw Katrina or an Isis, I always felt bad.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting because I went to college. I went to college, high school, with a bunch of girls named. There was a period when I was growing up, I'm 48 now, where the generation of Black and brown girls right above me, there was a lot of Asias, there was a lot of Isis, a lot of Moniques, and just like Katrina. And then also like there'd be a couple, girls named Egypt. There was like that generation of parents was very pro-Black, back to Africa kind of, so like you would see those kinds of names, and now my daughter doesn't have any friends named Asia.
No, or
that was like the name to have, and that was like the hot girl. It's like, yo, this girl Asia, she goes to another school though, dog. She
you can tell Asia was fine.
There was India as well, was a big name. So yeah, it's interesting to see the ebbs and flows of these names. All right, Tory, we're getting a little late. Is it time for one of Tory's facts?
I have one ready for you.
Okay, here we go. Tory, hit us with the fun fact.
Okay. The universe has a color. It's a cosmic color, and it's a certain interesting color. And I wanted to ask the group, the chat, our colleagues, and Al, what is the cosmic color? And this is what the atmosphere scientists have come up with as what we see in energy. What do you think it's not a deep purple. Someone has mentioned a deep
turquoise.
Turquoise sounds beautiful, but it is not a turquoise. The answer, are you ready?
Yeah.
Yellow. It is similar to yellow. This is a good one. It is called cosmic latte. And they found that
sounds like a coffee you would get at a bowling alley.
It's not pink. It's cosmic latte, and it is the color in which astronomers found that the light coming from galaxies averaged into this beige cosmic latte. So that's the color of the universe.
All right. I like that one. Do you have one more for us? That was a good one.
I feel like you didn't like that one very much.
I did.
Okay. Yes. Comets have a certain smell. Does anyone know what the smell is?
Comets, I would say they probably smell like dry ice.
Good. That's a great one. The answer is rotten eggs.
All right.
Sulfur from a comet. So it's not going to smell good, guys. It's going to smell rotten egg.
But it's not a comet. It's a meteorite. Meteorite is what hits the ground, right? That's the only way we know what it smelled like.
This is specifically a comet.
Okay, I think that's a fake fact.
It's not.
Okay, look how defensive you've got him over your fact. I love you so much. Tor, I'm gonna run and grab Sar. She's getting ready to go on a trip, so I'm gonna help her.
Oh, that's
get ready.
Nice.
But I'm gonna text you after and make sure you're good to go. But I had so much fun.
You.
Colleagues, love y'all. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back here on Monday. Make sure to watch Daytime Talk After Dark tomorrow, and then tune in Monday. We might have a surprise for you. Oh, yeah. Tory doesn't even know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
It's not a surprise. Of course you don't. And I'm just hoping. Love y'all.